So let's talk about happiness, but not the feel-good, Instagram-worthy kind of happiness. I'm talking about the real deal. What actually makes people feel fulfilled long-term? Because spoiler alert, it's not bottomless brunches, spa days, and that giant bouquet of flowers you're waiting for on Valentine's Day. I know. What kind of monster speaks out against spa days? Just stay with me for a minute. So you see, there are two ways that we can approach life, the hedonistic way and the eudaimonic way. One of these leaves you constantly chasing the next great thing, and the other one actually makes you feel good for more than 5 minutes. So let's break it down. Hedonism is a pursuit of pleasure above all else. Now listen, pleasure's not a bad thing, but if you live a hedonistic lifestyle, some things break down. So, the hedonistic lifestyles, the treat yourself mentality. Give me the best food, give me the best clothes, give me the biggest grand gestures because I deserve it, right? It sounds so good, except it doesn't work. What happens is people get stuck on the hedonic treadmill. So no matter how much you get, it's never enough. The thrill fades and you adapt. So then you need more to feel the same level of happiness as you had before. It's why the person that gets that brand new luxury car is bored of it in a couple months, or why people in relationships who demand romantic gestures often still feel unloved even the next day. And guess what? This isn't just about bad habits or self-centeredness. It's actually about your brain getting hijacked by your own reward system. So let's talk about dopamine, your brain's pleasure chemical. When you're experiencing something exciting like validation or a gift or a sugar rush or some grand Valentine's Day surprise, your ventral tegmental area, the VTA, lights up like a Christmas tree, and it floods your nucleus accumbens with dopamine. Sounds great, right? Except your brain is really, really bad at long-term satisfaction. That dopamine, it wears off super fast. And because of your nucleus accumbens, it adapts. You now need bigger, shinier, more expensive experiences to get the same rush. If this sounds familiar, the nucleus accumbens is in partnership with addiction. Meanwhile, during this process, your prefrontal cortex, the smart part of your brain, the part of your brain that's responsible for rational decision making, is sitting over the corner screaming, hey, maybe you should start thinking long term. But your dopamine system and that nucleus accumbens, it's got the wheel and it is racing down the road and it keeps pumping the gas because it needs more. Now listen, this is why hedonistic pursuits feel good. Sex, alcohol, drugs, all of those things. But the problem is it leads to long-term emptiness. Your brain is literally wired to keep you chasing the next thing instead of finding real fulfillment. So what is the alternative? Well, enter eudaimonia, that thing that actually makes you feel good for more than 5 minutes. Unlike hedonism, which is all about that short-term pleasure seeking, eudaimonia is about meaning and growth and purpose. It's about investing in real relationships rather than just performative love. It's about showing up for people when it's hard and not when it just looks good on your social media. And here's the cool part. When you engage in deep relationships, personal development, or acts of service, your brain lights up differently. Instead of that dopamine roller coaster that you've been on, you start activating these long-term well-being networks. Your prefrontal cortex, your emotional regulation centers, all these areas are responsible for purpose-driven motivation, and they're all in harmony. So do you want some proof? Research actually shows us that people that prioritize meaning over pleasure actually report higher life satisfaction, lower anxiety, and they have more stable moods than those who are constantly chasing the next feel-good thing. So, as Jordan Peterson puts it, pleasure is fleeting and unimportant, while meaning and purpose sustain and fulfill. If you pursue pleasure, you'll find emptiness. But if you pursue what is meaningful, you'll find joy. So this Valentine's Day, maybe skip the overpriced nonsense and try something revolutionary. Focus on building something real. Who knows, you might actually like feeling fulfilled for more than 5 minutes. Wild concept, I know.